Hello and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. Today at the Brown Table Sports Card Collecting, I just had a few minutes here before I kick off my weekend to sit down at the table and show some of my recent pickups. So that's all I'm going to do. I've got a small stack of cards here. They're just cards that I have recently acquired. So just getting right at it today. The first one I have is a card from 2026. This is a Brewers team card. It's a blue sparkle. I do collect Brewer team cards, and I like to collect these different variations, and particularly the team color matches. And this was just a beautiful card, I thought, with the blue sparkle and the Brewers Blue City Connect jerseys from that season. And this one, I believe, is numbered. It is numbered 39 out of 150. So adds a little bit more of a special quality to it. But just thought it was a beautiful card. Adding that to my Brewer team card collection. The next one, I've recently been talking quite a bit about Topps Now, and I picked up several Topps Now cards this year, and this is the most recent one to come in, and this is one of my current favorite players, Jacob Misiorowski. He had what I really believe was the most dominant pitching performance that I have ever seen, and ended up being just a one-hitter. He shut out the Phillies on one hit. He faced the minimum, struck out 15 guys, and just never had any solid contact the entire game. And he did it all in under 100 pitches. There's only 95 pitches, so it's a statistical category called a Maddox. And so I bought the Topps Now card for it, hoping maybe to get a parallel, but I didn't. I just got the base card, but I just love this photograph. Miz just has this exuberance about him and a youthful joy that I enjoy so much, particularly because he plays for my Brewers. So that was another recent pickup. Another pickup that I've recently grabbed is this Cooper Pratt. This is from Bowman Chrome. He's a recent call up for the Brewers. They've signed him long term, even though he's real young. He's only played maybe a total of maybe 10 or 15 games now in the major leagues, but they have locked him up for, I think, 8 years. So I thought it was safe to start chasing down some Cooper Pratt cards. This one is also numbered. It's numbered 8 out of 175. Beautiful card. MVP insert from Bowman Chrome. So I'll see if I can get that to stay up on the stand. I often have difficulties with my card stands. All right, the next couple of cards I have are cards from 2011, and I had shown earlier, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, I had snagged finally my very first version of this type of card, and I had grabbed a Lyle Overbay, who was a former Brewer, but he was a Blue Jay on the card. But I ended up finding a couple of Brewer cards. They're not superstar players by any means, but if you're a Brewer fan, you remember these guys. The first one is Corey Hart, and of course what I'm referring to is these Hope Diamond Anniversary cards that Topps put out in 2011, and Corey Hart was a fan favorite in Milwaukee for several years. He didn't really have any monster seasons, but he was a solid player for us and helped us make it to the playoffs in 2011, won the division that year. So Corey Hart was a nice addition to my Hope Diamond Anniversary collection. So that is my second Hope Diamond. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this one to stay. That stand is a little tippy. But then the third Hope Diamond card in my collection, now I have the Overbay and the Corey Hart. And then I also snagged this Casey McGee. And unless you were a Brewer fan in the early 2000s, you probably don't even know or even remember Casey McGee. But he was a solid player for the Brewers. He played third base primarily. And hit some big home runs for the team back in those years. But the cards are just beautiful. I love these Hope Diamond. I hope to add a few more of those cards to my collection. And those two I snagged at reasonable prices. The bigger name guys are just get really, really expensive, but I'm keeping my feelers out, hoping to find more of those Hope Diamond cards to add to my collection. All right, another pickup that I had recently here. I've been picking up some golf cards, and I've shown some of these recently as well. This is from Upper Deck Canvas. This is a Young Guns Hideki Matsuyama. Obviously, Hideki has been playing for a long time, but this is his Young Guns card from 2025. I'm not even sure what year this release was from, but at any rate, it's got to be considered his rookie card if it's his Young Guns. Hideki, one of my favorite golfers, so snagged that one, and I love those Upper Deck Canvas, and that smile, that picture is just a real winner of an image for me. All right, the next two cards are kind of go together. They're actually the same card, two different versions, and I've shown a couple of these in previous episodes. Also, these are from 2013. In 2013, Topps did several different parallels, but the two I really, really like is the emerald green and then the blue colored card. I believe is called a Silver Slate, but I really love the effect that these cards have with the kind of the glitter effect. And I've talked about in previous episodes how CC Sabathia is one of my favorite guys to collect in the hobby. He only spent maybe 4 or 5 months with my Brewers in his entire Hall of Fame career, but they were pretty significant months. So I just love collecting CC, even though he didn't spend much time with us. So I've kind of embraced collecting his cards, regardless of whether they were Brewers or Cleveland Indians or the Yankees cards. But these two cards I thought were just beautiful, and I love to pair things together like this. So I snagged these two. So I'll take these cards down and make room for the new ones. I'll get that Hope Diamond card out of here and make room for the next ones. Boy, I make a mess out of my card stands. That's just the way I roll, I guess. All right, so if I can get these to stand up, we'll move on. I have a couple more cards left that I want to show today. The next one is next two are just more versions of these two. They're both the Silver Slate blue colored cards. One is Nyjer Morgan. And if you were a fan of the Brewers in 2011, you understand what an important contributor he was. I happened to be at a playoff game where he clinched the NLDS against the Arizona Diamondbacks by getting a game-winning hit, and it was a walk-off single. And he was just a great personality for that team. He had a alter ego by the name of T Plush. I never understood what that was all about, but Nyjer Morgan has a special place in the heart of most Brewer fans that watch that team. So I snagged that. And then another Corey Hart. I showed the Hope Diamond anniversary of Corey Hart, but this is the 2013 blue slate or silver slate Corey Hart. Love that picture. So snag that one. So I have two more cards to show, and they are both of the same ilk as well, the same card type. Recently, I've been showing some cards I've picked up that were from the 2011 series that were not the Hope Diamond, but the Cognac Diamond anniversary. So I picked up two Hall of Fame cards from that release. First one here is Sandy Koufax, and I just love the way these Cognac Diamond anniversary cards look. I mean, I think the Hope Diamond are just a little bit more special, but the Cognac cards also have a very, very special shine to them. I really enjoy those. So I've been snagging some of these Cognac cards of the all-time great players. And the other one I snagged is this Hall of Famer Larry Walker. He was just a beautiful card here too. I love those Expo uniforms. Larry Walker was a Hall of Famer from my childhood. I remember watching him play. I mean, maybe not my young childhood, but I do remember Larry Walker in my younger years, I should say. And great player. I love this photograph. So another Cognac pickup for my collection. All right, so that's all I have for you today. I do want to mention that my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube is coming up next week. So I am planning kind of a special episode next week. I'm not exactly sure what I have in store, but I do know that I'm going to be putting together an episode that's just a little bit something more than what I normally do for my episodes to kind of celebrate that 1 year mark. So hopefully you can check that out and join me for some fun next week. So until that time, everybody, enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.